Hello, Pisces. Welcome to this prediction in astrology. This time I'm not going to do a thorough reading, but I'm doing an astral interpretation of three astral maps of the 11th day of January, 21st, and the 2 of February. I will do this interpretation based on the collocation of the planets in New York, because this is an international study of maps, and I'm not going to do based in the hour of Portugal, but in the hour of New York. So with no further ado, I'm going to enter these map lectures. Basically, I'm going to use the main frame of the 12 shops because this is an operative language and interpretation of maps. But at the same time, I'm going to enlighten you what are the guidelines in each of these houses and energies. You can have your rising, your sun, your moon, your Venus, your Jupiter, or even your Mars or your Mercury in this energy of Pisces. And this lecture is for you. If you don't have those collocations, generally it means that probably it's one of the other lectures that I'm going to do that will enlighten you in what is going on in this coming year of 2024. Basically, the idea of the foundations of knowledge of spirituality as an instrument of unification is the main core theme of this lecture. So I'm going to present you the map, the sky map of the day 11th of the month of January. As you can see, we have a different layout from what happens in Portugal and in other parts of the planet. As you can see, basically the activity is all in the south hemisphere, from the second house to the seventh one. So this is the house of Taurus, the house of Gemini, and this is about resources, communication, traumas, and interpretation of feelings and sentiments. 7 is the stage, is about the way you propel yourself in the world, the way you project your image towards others. The 6th shop, and this is, by the way, the stage. This is the clinic, is about service, and is the house of Virgo, which is occupied by, in his holiness, by the sign of this case Aries. Okay, so Aries is here in the 6th house, in the 11th day of January in New York time. In the 7th house we have Taurus, which is, by the way, being transformed by this planet here, which is Uranus, and Uranus is doing a job. Basically, Uranus, which is the regent of Aquarius, which is right over here, is the revolutionary process of transformation of the houses. So presently, he's doing his work in Taurus, which has to do with resources and economic behavior. So the markets and the incomes are influenced directly by this transformation and this transformative energy of Uranus. So we have Uranus here. This is a major planet because this is a transpersonal planet. We also have here Pluto, which is very important because Pluto is the energy of Scorpio, transformation and death of processes. It's also the energy of the atomic bomb. Okay, so the atomic energy is Plutonic energy, and is here in the 3rd house, which is the house of communication, and is transforming the way the information and communication is done in North America. So this is a lot to do with the United States, and it's quite different from London or from Lisbon. So for each globe zone, we have different maps and interpretations because the houses are different. So basically, we have here, yet the planets are in the same signs. So some things are coincident and some things are different. But let's get on with what was happening on the 10th day of January. So we have here Venus, which has to do with values, and Venus is in Sagittarius. Also, we have Mercury, which has to do with communication, which is also on Sagittarius. And these two positions in the second house, which is the house of economic growth and resources, means that abundantly we have a concern with maintaining your own dynamics of economics and conservation of wealth. Yet at the same time, it is an expansive in the sense of expanding, transforming your own resources by the action of Sagittarius. At the same time, the moon has to do with your inner feelings. The planet here, which is Mars, has to do with warfare, and transformation. And we actually have a war of communication right now, and it is a political war, because we have here the regents of these planets, because the moon is a planet in astrological terms, is Capricorn, and Capricorn is the regent of politics and of public and public service and image and public image. So so let's turn here to the point I was explaining. So these collocations of the Sun, Pluto, Mars, and the Moon in Capricorn gave somehow equilibrium and a proportion that has controlled other energies, as the expansion of Uranus, for instance, and the expansion of, in this case, Jupiter, which is also in Taurus and is an expanse energy. So this expansive energy, in the sense of dominating new models of economics, is being somehow delayed by these energies here in the third house. And it's by communication that we control relation in the firms and in the enterprises and in the businesses, by essentially in the sense of the way they function as an organization, by opposition to the way it is used its resources and its money. So the use of resources and money, and here we have the use of resources and money, and here we have basically the way people interact inside the enterprises. And both those sectors are dominated by Taurus and Sagittarius. So we have an expansion and a belief that this expansion is good. At the same time, at the bottom of the third house, which is the communication and the press is being controlled by the political power, which is here by Capricorn, in the way people feel, which is the moon, in the way they act and fight with each other, which is Mars, and also the way politics really work. And politics is based on communication. It's centered here in the third house, at least it was at the 10th of January. Also is where is the revolution happening. At the same time, the regent is in Pisces in the fourth house, which means the fourth house is the house of the traumas and of intimacy. It's also the base of the moon, which is right here. So we have this entanglement of the way people feel and the way people feel represented and communicated publicly. And this connection is dominated by Pisces. By the way, we are changing from Pisces to Aquarius, and it's already happening, this transference of energies. But at the 10th of January, we still had these two planets ruling, and they are basically Saturn, the regent of Capricorn, and Neptune. And Neptune is the regent of Pisces. So Pisces is with his own planet on this fifth house, which is the stage. So this means that there is an inact, a kind of representation, public representation that is controlling the people in order to fulfill them in their desires and maintain them kept in security, because that's what governments are about, controlling and maintaining happiness in the people. Okay, so at the same time, in the duty, and it's not making a lot of connections because you have Kyrian and the head of the dragon, or the north node in Aries, and this is also an energy of fire and transformation. So we have here a lot of processes and confrontations. At this point, they are solidarity, but at the same time, they are beginning to have some kind of entanglements. At the day of today, 22nd of January, things are changing, or a change from what happened in the 10th. Because we have already the Sun and Pluto here in Aquarius. They have entered in Aquarius yesterday, but they are still in the third house. But the third house is still owned by Capricornius. Okay, so Capricorn is fighting, his energy is fighting the energy of Aquarius. Still, Sagittarius as Venus, so the values are still the values of Sagittarius, which are expansive values and believing in this expansion of economics, which are connected, as we know, with Taurus, but is very feeble this time. Also, we have a change of Jupiter, which is already in Aries. Okay, so this is a change because this is a much stronger connection, because we have a connection of the regent of a fire sign, which is Sagittarius, and Aries, which is also fire, and it is entering the sixth house from the 7th to the 6th. Which, what is the difference? The seventh house is all about relationships, which can be, or can lead to firms, but it can also lead to families and to conjugal relationships. But the sixth house is about work, work ethics, and labor. So this is a change, and it's a change of pattern. This is not about wealth and feeling well, which is the values of Taurus, but they are changing. And the perspective of the learning and the knowledge being fixed in more proper working methods, it's the change that is happening now, and it is being implemented. So we have a change. People are beginning to work again with new ethic patterns, and this will affect differently this transformation on the house of the resources, which, by the way, is affecting the way people relate in working environments, as in work. Okay, so the moon is in Gemini, which is in the 8th house, and the 8th house is about therapists and therapy and relationships, profound relationships, and the comprehension of sentiments of the other partner. And this is very important because it is in direct conflict with what is happening is the values of Sagittarius in the 2nd house. So sharing versus keeping money and wealth. And this is a clear conflict, because we have here two quadrants or quadratures, and we have here an opposition. Okay, so this is a fire triangle, which means that there's a lot of fighting. Okay, and this is can be interpreted here for the Pisces, which is a sign of peace, as a transformation, and they are losing from the perspective here of Neptune and Saturn, which are both in Pisces, that there is a stronger fight between these energies. So I would say that what was happening at the 10th of January is clearly changing for more aggressivity and destruction of people. So this is not good from the sense of spirituality. So we are having more fights and less time for speaking and listening to others and to understanding their own problems. So empathy is diminished as we go along. And if we look to the map at the 2nd of February, we are going to see here this moon in the sign of Scorpio, which is going to make a lot of conflict, especially with these signs in Capricorn, which are Mercury, also Pluto. Pluto is already in Aquarius, but we have still Mercury and Mars in Saturn. But we also have now, and this is a change, Venus. So the values, the planet of values, change from Sagittarius to Capricorn. And this is making a lot of tensions, not with these two, because these two are with Taurus. So we have here Jupiter with reingresses in Taurus from Aries, which today is in Aries, but in the 2nd of February it will return to Taurus, and this will reinforce this solidarity from Taurus to Capricorn. Still, it is difficult to control these two planets, Saturn and in this case the regent of Pisces, which is Neptune, which are here trying to create a smoke protection in order to in some way stop these ideas and feelings of the 12 shop, which is spirituality in Scorpio. There is a battle, and this is a spiritual battle, because we have here the 12th house and the 4th house and the 6th house. Okay, we have this triangle here, and we have these three forces: the moon in Scorpio in the 12th house, Saturn in Pisces in the 4th house, and we have here Jupiter in Taurus in the 6th house. Two water planets and an earth planet. And still we have also here the interference of Saturn with these combined strengths. At the same time, we have in the opposite corner the Sun and Pluto in Aquarius. So there is a fight going on this moment in the media, basically, in the press, but also in spirituality and in labor and relation works in firms. And this is impacting the way people feel and the way people act in the world, okay? And this is basically what is happening spirituality in spiritual terms in the world, and particularly in America today, okay? So this is basically the forecast I have for you, the interpretation of the three maps and the three moments. And I see you on February. So see you then, Pisces. Bye.